Hi, my name is Pedro Javier Huanca. My code number is 889. I am 22 years old and I am environmental engineer. I am also a climate activist and environment volunteer. I want to explain an interesting topic called how to be a better inhabitant on this planet. This is the focus project by myself. Currently, we are living and experiencing a climate crisis and an environmental crisis. All of that are driven by human activities. The consequences of this crisis are impacting our way of life significantly. Global temperatures are rising, leading to increased occurrence of droughts, floods, droughts, and other environment problems or troubles. This, in turn, has resulted in a surge in the prices of essential household goods, contributing to higher levels of poverty, migration, and social inequalities. The interconnected nature of this challenge has given rise to a complex web of a social, environment, and economic crisis on a global scale. The root cause of these issues lies in the unsustainable way in which we produce and consume our resources. Everyone can play a role in solving climatic change. There are real actions we all can take starting today to get us on a pathway to real system change that benefit humanity and the planet. The magnitude of the challenge we are collectively facing requires action from all levels. For example, from our governments, from the business sector, the institutions, the academic sector, and the communities. And every one of us in our personal lives and homes. So, where do we start? We have to understand that everything comes of the earth. Every time we buy something, we use natural resources, but there are individual and collective responsibilities. In a society, there are different sectors, like the government sectors, like the industry sector, like the civil society sector. And everything is connected in a system of production and consumption. Therefore, the responsibilities are divided among all these sectors. We, as the civil society, have a share of responsibility, but not the entirety. There is to understand we have common but different responsibilities. That means that each person has a greater or lesser responsibility based on their reality and role on the society. For example, a president has more responsibilities than a student for the environment because a president has a international responsibility for the environment. Countries in North America, Europe, Asia are home to a minority of the world's population, but have contributed the most climate-changing greenhouse gas emissions. Citizens in those countries are more worried about their personal impact on climate change One challenge is that most of us are unsure which actions are most impactful in solving climatic change. Some people who believe they understand which actions are most impacting are sometimes incorrect. As you join the climatic action that is already underway, it's important to understand which of your personal action can have an impact. We can start to take ownership of our role in global system, commit to living our values, and be the change we want to see when we take individual action to reduce our emission. As it, as an individual people, or as yes, we can reduce our food waste that we produce. Before to buy the weekly food or the monthly food, we should consider if we could consume all the food that we buy. If we have food waste, we can start to make compost. But first, we should reject unnecessary food purchases. The livestock industry is one of the main sectors that generates greenhouse gases. Reducing our meat consumption and opting for green alternatives like native vegetables and fruits. For example, in our context, we can buy vegetables and fruits from Chocaya. All of that is definitely one of the things that most would help the environment. It's not necessary to be a vegetarian or following a vegan philosophy. Just we can reduce the meat consumption. We also can use and ask for better public transportation and walking and biking where you live can make it easier for you and your neighbors to reduce emission from driving cars. For example, in Cochabamba, helping solve climate change is a collective act, and each of us has a challenge for changing the system around us. It is not always easy. Well, it is not easy. But everyone can make a difference. Personally, I try to follow a minimalist philosophy in my life, which means having fewer material possessions and avoid the consumption. I also engage in environmental education for children and young people. Some people choose a vegan lifestyle to help the environment, while others focus on recycling. Some people participate in protests for environmental issues, like me. Every action counts. We must act now. We are not just individuals. We are neighbors, friends, co-workers, employers, members of the society. Our personal contribution will be more strong when we learn what solutions have the most impact and join with others in our communities to push that solution. Thanks.